Hi, this is Tom at Spinitron. I'd like to introduce you to Spinitron version 2. Before we start, be aware that stations are still logging playlists in version 1, and you won't see those updates live in version 2. You'll just see changes you and your colleagues make while testing version 2. But I can import playlists from version 1 into version 2 whenever needed. So the URL for version 2 is spinitron.com/v2. If you forget that, you can also get there from the spinitron.com front page by clicking this black link here and then the logo. So this is the Spinitron version 2 homepage. It's got the same stuff as version 1, except now recent spins live updates, and we've got a new station picker that looks like this. Station public pages aren't very interesting yet. Mostly the same old stuff, just with an updated look. What is new is the calendar, which replaces the old weekly schedule and past playlist navigation. In the public calendar, scheduled shows are in the future and playlists are in the past. This is what a playlist looks like. Nothing too surprising. We also have show pages and DJ pages, both of which show their past playlists. Okay, let's log in. Any of your DJs can log in with their current passwords and try Spinitron version 2 out. But remember, anything they enter might get wiped since we're still testing. For real playlists, continue logging with V1 for now. There's a new sign-up wizard. You can try that out, but I'm going to skip that right now. It should work. You no longer have to enter a station ID to log in. If you're a member at more than one station, you can switch stations after you log in. The home page looks a lot different. It's more like a DJ profile and status page now. Navigation has moved to the top, notifications here, DJ image, playlist at the bottom. There's a section for my scheduled shows and also for the current and upcoming shows. These are convenient for quick access, either to edit the show or to create a playlist from it. For example, if I come to the station to DJ the upcoming show, I click here to make a new playlist. I make any changes to this form, click submit, and it's as simple as that. Go back home. Another way to create a playlist is from the menu, where I can choose any scheduled show and make a playlist from it. Go back. I can also sort and filter to help me find what I need. From new, I can also create a blank playlist if I'm not doing a scheduled show. And I can also create a playlist from the schedule. Click the calendar icon. Say I'm doing this show, new playlist. Let's continue on. Playlist entry works, but autocomplete hasn't been deployed yet. Existing playlists are here, and I can again browse and search and sort. For example, Susanna's shows are all here. I can view one of those, that's what it looks like. If I want to export it, that's what this little icon is for. There are lots of options for export, formats, and how to get it out, email, download, etc. You can try those out, see how well it works. If I edit this playlist, then again I've got the export function here, but beside that I can also import. So unlike in Spinitron version 1, I first open the playlist and then I can either export or import into it. With import, I can import either from a file or I can copy and paste from another program. It's surprising how well that works, for example from iTunes. Let's look again at the schedule. For each show, I have a number of actions. As an admin, I have write permission on all the content. Most DJs can edit and delete only their own shows. There's a list view of the schedule, which I can get with this button. This allows different ways to find the shows, and the action buttons are now on the right. In the calendar view, I can create a show with this button, or I can even click and drag in an empty space. In the new show form, a number of things have changed. Description is one of several fields in Spinitron that are rich text now, so you can use formatting and add images. Scheduling is much more flexible now. We set the show's duration here, and the schedules down here determine when the show appears and how it repeats. This schedule has a start time of 4 a.m. The schedule begins on this date. That's when it enters the calendar, and I can change that. And there's an optional end date when it exits the calendar. I can add schedules for the show in case it runs more than once a day, for example at 4 a.m. and at 4 p.m. Sundays. The show's repetition is quite flexible now. There are more options for weekly repetition, and I can also have monthly repetition. For example, if this show runs on the second and fourth Sunday of each month. To represent a one-off show, I can choose Doesn't Repeat. Moving on from the schedule, in the Report menu, we'll find Search and Chart, which is so powerful and useful that it deserves its own video. So I'll skip that for now. Also, there is Sound Exchange Reports, which I'll breeze over really quickly because it's just so boring. But anyway, it works, and you've got all the different ways that you can export your data. Users is for user management. Again, there's a list I can sort and browse to find the things I need. Pencil is to edit a user profile. Trashcan sets an account as disabled. I can change permissions like this. I can also change permissions using these checkboxes on the right. Add users is for adding users in bulk. Here we need the email and name. The DJ name is optional, and I can add 10 at a time this way. When you do that, a DJ will receive an email saying that they've got to go and set their password. Finally, let's take a look at the admin menu. Much of this stuff is carried over from version 1, so it might be familiar. Take a look through, see if it makes sense to you. The one thing that's really changed a lot is the music field setup. Here we've responded to requests from stations for more flexibility. For each field, we've made it so that you can enable it or disable it. If it is enabled, then you can also set it as required. That means that a DJ has to provide a value or they can't save the song into the playlist. If it is not required, you can also set it as hideable. Hideable means that a DJ doesn't have to look at it in their own playlist. Custom labels can be set on some of the fields. For example, if you don't like the catalog name, you could choose some other label for that field. There's also one custom field for each of artist, release, song, and label, and you can set up the label for those fields. Menus are set up like this. And for genres, you have to choose them from this big long list. The changes you've made so far are visible in this mock-up below. And when you're happy with everything, click Save, and it's applied. Well, that's enough demo for now. But before we go, let me show you something about how to report bugs and provide your feedback. There's a bit of a complicated URL to go to. I'll put that in the notes for this video and send an email about it as well. This is our Spinitron V2 issue tracker. If you've got a bug to report, try to follow the instructions here and give us enough information so that we can create the bug, see it for ourselves, and then try and fix it. If you've got a suggestion, just make your suggestion in the box, give it a title, and that's that. It's preferable if you create an account at Bitbucket, so then we know who you were and we can follow up, but it's not required. Well, thanks very much. Enjoy your testing, and we look forward to hearing from you.